What's going on, guys? We are back for a little bit of time on the Subaru here. We're going to work on that today. I've been spending some time figuring out how I want to do the door bars. I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to do it. The auto power kit comes with basically like a single bend bar that kind of bends out from here a little bit and goes straight up, but it doesn't allow much room in there, and additional safety as far as like a balcony bar, like a drift style door bar. So I'm gonna do kind of a happy medium between both, partially because with the materials I have, I'm kind of forced to, and the other part is I think this is just a good happy medium for the tools I have as well. So we'll get into it. I'll explain it as I go. So what we're going to start with is this section here. This is the part that comes with the auto power cage kit. As you can see, just a single bend in it. This is the same size tubing that is being used for the rest of the cage. Real heavy. The reason for this is that basically the main hoop comes in tighter towards the inside of the chassis than the A-pillar bar does. So what it's going to do is instead of like being straight, it's going to, basically this is going to be straight with the door sill, but this is going to go back and meet the main hoop. So we're going to install this one first. I actually already kind of worked on the other side a little bit, the driver's side, yesterday, so I kind of already know what to expect, but we'll get into this. We'll go ahead and notch this out. Since they're flat, we'll notch this out so it meets up nice, clean it up for some good welds, and we'll get started with this one. Alright, so we've got our lower door bar all set up. We got everything notched out, cleaned up on both sides, as you can see. So basically what I want to do is just test fit it, and then we'll go ahead and pull it back out, clean up all the areas where we're going to weld in the cage there, and then we'll go from there. So calculations are right, it should be pretty tight. Oh. There we go. Alright, so I'll have to measure this up and make sure it's all dialed, but otherwise it's looking pretty good. As you can see, it comes about, you know, maybe 2 inches or so from where the inner door sill will be, but your seat will fit in there nice still, so should be pretty good. So we'll go ahead and pull it back out, clean it up, and we'll go ahead and tack it in for now. So so we've got our welder on full kill mode because it's only a little 110 welder, so I pretty much need all of it. But it welds pretty good, so we'll go ahead and tack this in, like maybe 2-3 tacks on each side, and then we will move on to our upper balcony bar. So let's get these in there. Just to note too, I did level this before I put it in. So I measured everything, matched the other side, leveled it. This bar is going to be going in level, so I'll make sure it looks right and as even as I can. So yeah, double checked all that stuff before we welded in. As you can see, bring it around, we've got pretty nice little mate up there, and you can see kind of how that is that's gonna look. So we'll get started on the upper hoop next, go from there. All right, so this is our upper balcony bar. You can kind of see obviously the double bend. So I did buy this pre-bent, so it obviously wasn't going to be perfect, but it still is working out. I actually bought 4 of these. I'm only going to end up using 2 since I'm going to use the other 2 bars from the auto power kit. So I'm going to end up with some extra material, but I might make some extra gussets and anti-intrusion bar and stuff like that. So yeah, so this one I marked it. This is pretty similar to what I did yesterday with my pre-fit of the driver's side. So I took basically, you know, the tape line and I cut it all the way down. I believe it's 1.5 inches. So double check the measurement, should be pretty close. So I'm gonna go ahead and notch this out. The other end's already come notched out on the other side, so should be pretty close. But let's cut this out and see if we can fit this one in. It's actually going to go in a slight angle to the front, so I'll put a little extra notch on the top section, and then yeah, we'll see how it fits. Alright, so we've got everything cut and trimmed. I've got tape up on the bars to mimic what the other side looks like, and it's going to end up looking something like that. So going to trim it up a little bit more, and then we'll go ahead and tack it in. So didn't exactly fit up as tight as I had planned. Had to kind of ended up tacking it up rather heavily off camera. I had some gaps to fill that I wasn't too proud of, but it's gonna look good either way. So, and it's gonna be way more strong than I will ever need it to be. So that's in. I got some solid welds on the top bar, and then as you can kind of see, I'll flip you around here. As you can kind of see, we've got a pretty tight line on the inside for the lower bar, and then your upper bar is going to come out. Obviously we're going to have to get into the door a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to run actual roll-up windows. Got a solution in mind for that, but you can see how this is all going to kind of line up. And then from kind of the side angle, you can see the profile and how it matches the other side. So pretty happy with it. Looks good to me. And we'll go from there. We'll keep rolling. All right, so now that we have our 2 bars in, we are going to work on, I'm not sure what we would call them, but our bars that are going to basically connect. So basically what I'm going to end up doing is, I don't know if I'm going to work out in this video or not, but I'm going to have anti-intrusion bars going up to the firewall, basically up to the wheel tub, basically in a front end collision, basically protects your feet from what I understand, real popular in drifting. And then back here, I'm actually going to triangulate this little section, I think. We'll see. It'll be a real small piece, so not sure how much good it'll do. Already seems pretty solid, but Jose recommended that I do that. He's pretty knowledgeable in cage building. He did a lot, so kind of going off of him a little bit there. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to meet everything, at least on the back section. I'm going to meet everything on the bend. So I'm going to go from here up to the outer corner of the bend. I'm going to do a center one here, and then I'm going to do basically one in the front. The goal, I think, for the front one might be to mirror the back, but I might just go straight off of this. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet, but probably start with the middle one just to get kind of a feel for what we're working with here, and then we'll go from there. I'm not gonna film much of the notching and stuff like that because I feel like that's just a waste of time. So I'll get that done, and then we'll start fitting up tubes. Alright, so we got our first piece cut, notched, and cleaned on each end. Marked my center here, and then should tap in place quite nicely. Might need a mallet. That's the tight fit up here. I'm just going to get that level, and then we'll go ahead and weld it into place. Alright, so for this we're going to put a tack on each side, and then we'll run some small beads on this side. So let's do that. Bruiser, beat it, man. Put your mask on. It's going to burn your retinas. Alright, got some basic little tacks in place. I'm going to put a slightly heavier weld on each side, and then we'll move on to the next one. wire speed maybe is a little fast on that one, but that ain't going nowhere. So pretty cool to see that come together. Put the other two bars in and keep rolling. Alright, so I've got the other couple pieces cut, and we're gonna go ahead and weld those in right now. As you can see, super tight fit. Actually pretty happy with myself on these. Took a little time, and again, these are all hand notched. I don't have any crazy tools that are allowing me to you know, do this easily. It's all done with a grinder and pretty much a bench grinder as well. But just the angle grinder, and then I got the bench grinder and my little Home Depot welder. You can see I've got, you know, some pretty decent welds. Good penetration there. So just in general, to kind of chat for like a second, I definitely have experience with fabrication. Never done a cage before. Exhausts, welding up little stuff. I built my gate, which is pretty heavy duty. It's all like 4x4 steel tubing for the posts, and then I've got I think 2x2. It's pretty big. It's definitely overkill. Never gonna need a new gate, probably as long as I live here, and probably the next person too. But yeah, so built the rack on the truck. I've got a lot of what I'll call rough fabrication experience as far as like fitting this stuff together. It's very precise. That is something that is challenging me for sure, but we're getting it done. So I'm actually really happy with it so far. I'll turn you back towards our setup here. Basically what I've been doing is going through and making sure everything is level. The car is level, so at that point I just use my phone. I'll throw it on stuff and make sure that works level and we're straight. This one's not welded yet, and then our back one, we could use a little bit of angle that way. So so we're gonna knock that one out a little bit, and then we'll weld this up and we'll see what it looks like. Alright, I had to switch, put new wire in the welder there. Just ran out on this last center one. So yeah, this little MIG does pretty good though. I've had it for years. Like my dad bought it for me when I was, I think, 14. So that was what, I don't know, a long time ago, 16 years ago. But no, more than that. Wow, this thing's pretty old. But yeah, so I'm pretty proficient in MIG. I think anybody is that can, you know, use a pencil can MIG weld for the most part. It's really all about settings, figuring that out, and having you know, enough power to get the job done. But and then as far as TIG goes, I'm pretty good at TIG. Steel obviously is real easy. Stainless is real easy, a little bit more fun. Aluminum is tough. Aluminum is something I haven't really gotten good yet at. So that's something hopefully I'll work on in the future. I don't have a TIG welder right now. I used to have an Alpha TIG, but just having 110 in the garage, it doesn't really do it justice. So I did sell it since I wasn't using a whole lot. But so yeah, let's get these burned in. Goobery on that one. clean it up. Alright, got some tacks on those. We'll run some little half beads and call it a night. It'll get a little hot. Alright. We're just going to get this last little part and we're going to call it. Pretty solid. Some might say that's not going nowhere. But so yeah, we're gonna wrap it up with that. Appreciate you guys watching. My first attempt, well, technically my 1.5 attempt. I already started that side. I just gotta finish it. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I'm pretty pumped with it starting to look like a race car. It didn't start as a race car project, just wanted to be kind of a cruiser, take it to the track every now and again, but it is kind of turning into a race car, as many projects kind of do. So that's gonna do it. Next time we'll maybe work on some anti-intrusion bars, maybe some finish welding. I gotta finish out that other side as well. Obviously it's not super exciting to watch welding, so I'm probably gonna get a lot of this stuff finish welded, and then I'll start to work on our anti-intrusion bars and maybe some finishing touches here. So appreciate everybody watching. If you haven't already, please go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment if I'm doing something you think I can do better. If you have a suggestion, by all means, light me up. So appreciate it. We'll talk to y'all soon. See ya.